George Wingfield was the state's richest man after the turn of the 20th century, mostly from his silver mines in Tonopah and Goldfield. He had standing, money, and friends in high places. Casinos in mining towns thrived in buildings he leased to businessmen like Nick Abelman, C.F. Wittenberg, and John Mannion for the Tonopah Club, the Big Casino, and the Cobweb. Nevada was long the largest producer of silver in the country, and the state senators Tasker L. Odie and Key Pittman pushed through the Pittman Act of 1918, whereby the U.S. government paid $1 an ounce for American silver used for new dollars. Since silver was selling at 70 cents an ounce at the time, it was a scandal and a score for Nevada, now also known as the Silver State. Although Nevada casinos mastered the art of free advertising with matchbooks, ashtrays, dice, cards, and chips that depicted their clubs, most used U.S. silver dollar coins on their table games, and they all used them in slot machines for over 30 years before they switched to privately minted coins. But then silver finally crept near $1 an ounce in the early 60s, and U.S. dimes, quarters, half, and full dollars were 90% silver at the time. You could even take your silver certificates to the bank and redeem them for $1 worth of silver coins, a silver dollar, or $1 worth of silver granules. But that all ended in March of 1964. New U.S. dimes and quarters were made with cupro nickel, and half dollars were only 40% silver after that time. Actual silver piece dollars were made until 1928, when all of the Pittman Act silver had finally been made into new coins. And no more U.S. silver dollars were minted except for 1934 and 1935. After that, the coins were increasingly replaced by folding money, except in Nevada. The end of minting silver coins was known in advance, and by the summer of '64, the U.S. Treasury was out of dollars, having just shipped the final $1 million to Harold's Club in Reno. The U.S. Treasury and the U.S. Mint were ready with new coins. But what about the casinos in Nevada? Those silver dollars were slowly disappearing too. Aside from familiar collectors, silver hoarder Levere Redfield lived in Reno and spent hundreds of hours playing roulette at the Mapes Casino around the corner from his house. And every night, he took home some silver dollars. Redfield played roulette at other casinos too, like the Nugget in Sparks, which had special LR chips for his use. One evening in 1952, while gambling at Harold's Club, burglars fed steaks to his dogs and stole 3 safes filled with jewelry, cash, and securities from his home. He was so rich he wasn't even sure what was missing. But during the investigation, Reno police found a secret room in his basement filled with hundreds of bags of silver dollars. Although he agreed to take the coins to the bank, he only deposited a few. When he died in 1974, executors of his will found 407,000 silver dollars, now known as the Redfield Hoard. The coins weighed 12 tons. Back in 1964, when it was apparent that casinos needed a substitute for U.S. silver dollars, 6 companies vied for their business. Wendell's, Product Engineering, Norwalk Powdered Metals, and Osborne Coinage all had varying degrees of success with mostly silver-colored tokens. The Michigan Tool Company, based in San Jose, California, captured the local market, producing copper coins for the Crystal Bay Club, Harvey's, Sparks Nugget, Nevada Club at Tahoe and Reno, and Joe Mackey's Star Casino in Winnemucca. Also, they did somehow manage to get a Las Vegas property, the Thunderbird. Unfortunately, they weren't as striking as the bright silver tokens made by the other companies. Without exception, the tokens made by the Franklin Mint were superior to all others, mainly because the other companies in the fight were making a durable token, while the Franklin Mint, which had just been started in 1964 by Joseph Siegel with a $21,000 investment, was determined to produce coin-collecting quality tokens that would rise in value due to their high quality. Siegel went the extra mile, producing great designs, using polished dies, and issuing proof and proof-like collector sets of their casino coins. The Franklin Mint struck tokens for 27 casinos in 1965, and they dated the coins and gave his company investors and casino managers unique proof sets of the coins, some struck in 999 silver. The 1965 Franklin Mint casino tokens were a hit with gamblers. The coins looked classy. They withstood thousands of rounds through slot machines and were beautiful additions to hundreds of blackjack and crap games around the state. Many gamblers took them home as souvenirs. In addition, collectors were offered proof-like sets of the 27 tokens in blue and red albums. 2,500 sets were minted. A few specially designed Franklin plexiglass displays also held the tokens. Most of the 1965 tokens were made of an alloy the Franklin Mint called Franklinium. Each also had 1,999 silver proofs made, and a few casino tokens were minted in Franklin brass, each with only 500 additional silver proofs made. The Franklin Mint made 250,000 tokens for Harrah's, Reno, and Lake Tahoe clubs. Smaller casinos, like the Fallon Nugget, had only 5,000 tokens made for general use. The success of the 1965 tokens garnered the Franklin Mint an even greater share of the market, and they issued new tokens dated 1966 from 72 casinos, including some in the Bahamas. Most tokens were again bright silver, although a few properties stayed with brass, and the Franklin Mint also issued collector sets in silver clad. Between 500 and 1,000 of these were made for each club. In 1967, the Mint expanded to 96 gaming tokens, including casinos in Mexico, the Bahamas, Suriname, Nevada, and Greyhound racetracks in Florida and Arizona. This is the only year the minting included half, $2, and $5 tokens. One casino wanted $2.50 tokens. That's the Reno's Horseshoe Club. A total of 39 $5 tokens were struck in 999 pure silver, weighing 1.33 ounces each. Proof minting ran 251 each, while proof like ran 1,553 at most clubs. Some mint coins were also struck in as many as 1,000 tokens. Yes, a few silver clad also exist. Again, these were given as gifts and sold in red folders, blue, and Franklin plexiglass frames. 1968 brought a new selection of 48 $1 gaming tokens issued on 4-to-a-page cardboard cards. Franklin Mint wound up its casino tokens run with 24 new strikes in 1969. Collectors were offered proofs struck in individual cardboard holders enclosed in vinyl material. As much needed casino tokens, the Franklin Mint saved the day. They may have overextended their reach and value as collectibles by expanding their minting to proof coinage for other countries, and then making dolls, buttons, die-cast automobiles, and even Christmas tree ornaments with the Franklin Mint name. Most product values fell drastically after purchase. Fortunately, the quality and beauty of the gaming tokens they made and the relatively small quantity still in proof and proof-like condition keep the coins a valued collectible for gamers. Thanks very much for watching Nevada Gaming History's look at gaming tokens and the Franklin Mint.